Jay-Z.
What's up, niggas? Hey, yo, I know you ain't talking about me, dog. You?
Why would you even listen to me? Why are you here? I don't want you here. I want you to go. Like, you have no place here. Like, why would you listen to a lying-ass nigga who's just on the internet talking shit? Like, if that's who I am and that's what you think I am, then fuck you. Go away and be somewhere.
You know, I know that I've always been very supportive of Umar. I really like what he has to say. Whenever we've been in a movie together, I've always felt like he did a great job. I feel like his information is great. We've had his videos on our platform, and they've gotten millions of views. I've lost friends over Umar. As I mentioned before, you know, I got into a big fight with a Princeton professor about Umar because she said she would no longer support me because I agreed that Umar's school was a good idea and I supported it. And I didn't stand for that. I said, no, that's not going to work for me. I'm not going to, I'm not giving in to that kind of nonsense. I know also that I gave money to the school. I have done everything I can to be supportive. And so, as you can imagine, I was definitely thrown aback, you know, when I saw Umar just constantly kind of poking at me and attacking me because of something that Maria Lloyd, one of our bloggers, had to say. Basically, Maria did a video where she asked some legitimate questions about Umar and all that money he's collected from the black community, and it's basically said, I'm not giving you any money anymore until you start telling people what you're doing with that money. She didn't say give it back. She didn't say, oh, you're a crook. She just said, what are you doing with the money? Show us a plan. Show us a blueprint. The whole community is involved in this, and this is bigger than just you. And so apparently, I guess Umar connects me to her, even though she works with me and she used my channel.
Watkins, and I'm coming on here to applaud that effort and to revisit the concerns that I've always expressed about our people being unwilling to hold frauds accountable. I am making sure I am going to highlight our brothers and sisters who make the official point of putting frauds and criminals in our community on blast. Now, this isn't a walk in the park dispute over who gets to choose lunch. Maria Richard is asserting a 10-count fraud allegation against Boyce Watkins. And you see here all 10 counts. Let me tell you briefly what she's alleging in terms of these 10 counts of fraud. She alleges that, and by the way, the entire lawsuit, the 21-page lawsuit, is in the links. I encourage you all to read it word for word, which is what I did. That the program that she basically developed and did most of the work on is the only program of voices that ever went anywhere. The status of Mika Brown's lawsuit. Mika Brown filed a $8,000 lawsuit against Boyce Watkins in Cook County Court in Illinois. So what I have up here is, you'll see on the screen here, I want to make sure we're clear. Again, like I just explained with Maria Richards' lawsuit, if you look at the very top, this is always going to be the face sheet of a lawsuit, which is going to give you the current status as to who the parties are and who is representing them. So if you look up on the screen, you'll see Mika Brown, Jackson Corporate Law Offices, LaSalle Street, Chicago, Illinois. Defendant, Boyce Watkins. It says pro se, which means he does not have an attorney. He's representing himself. But I want you to look further down, and you will see on October 19th, you have a name, and that is Dwyer Sterling. That apparently at one time was Boyce's lawyer. This is a lawyer who submitted the substitution request and got off of Boyce's $9 million lawsuit. But if you keep going down, with more filings, you see again 1226. This is a postcard generated, and Boyce Watkins' name is there, and it's pro se. So that matches the top of the lawsuit, the face sheet.
How do you look as a wealthy millionaire having Damon Dash on your channel talking about somebody that owes him $2 million while you still owe me $105 and I have to beg and plead for my money and I have to walk on eggshells?
I did, absolutely. I very carefully, and I totally agree with you that it was certainly a bombshell piece, and I also believe it was indeed a hit piece.
I feel like there's a bit of a divide, and I think the question becomes, moving forward, everybody who supports reparations, please say I support reparations.
I support reparations.
I absolutely support reparations.
So let me ask you, where do you think that there can be common ground where everybody who just supports reparations, it don't matter how you feel about me or to leave. Those who support reparations, how do you think we can move forward in unity so that the man does not use the division in a way
right all of us? Right. Well, for me personally, again, I think it's been made clear for my part in this conversation that I am taking a staunch anti-ADOS stance, right? And I'm taking that stance because I feel like anyone who says that they are part of that, I look at them as my enemy. I look at them as a personal threat to me because of how ADOS and that community has come at me. So when we talk about the conversation with reparations and you talk about you a member of ADOS, I'm out of the conversation. The reason why I'm able to get on the phone with y'all is because I think that y'all are able to see the nuances in everything. So if we're talking about solution, the first thing is we cut out the cancer. Once we cut out the cancer, which is the hashtag ADOS movement, and stop dealing with them. And I'm talking about brothers like that I've been talking to, like Derek Hamilton and the brother Bishop Talbert Swan, who was tweeting ADOS, and I had to get at him in the DM, and I showed him, and he stopped. A lot of people have issues with Tariq Nasheed. I don't agree with everything Tariq Nasheed says, but he certainly jumped on the ADOS thing, and it looks like to me he's backing off. The brother Isaiah Washington is backing off. So what they gonna do is they gonna eat theyself. Now, once they eat theyself, we focus on NCOBRA, we focus on NARC, we focus on HR 40, we focus on the things that have been happening, and we elevate those things. We elevate the Claude Andersons of the world. And you know what? The fact that we absolutely need a younger part. Yvette Carnell run around, and the other sister was on Star's show, Dana with the data, run around thinking they millennials. They the same age as me. I don't consider myself a millennial. You know what I'm saying? Like they are not young people. They are not the vanguard. So we do need younger people to be involved in this. With the younger people that I work with, I heard a brother on someone's YouTube channel, from the Black Lives Matter people to the Black Youth Project people out in Missouri to the Dream Defenders down in Florida. These are all pro-reparations organizations. It's part of their platform. So I'm going to support them and uplift them. And the people saying, do you have a mission to take down ADOS? Absolutely. Absolutely. I want their conference center to be empty come October. And if it's not empty, I want them to be so confused they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I want that to be clear that my mission is to cut this cancer out of the community because they're trying to turn us against our African brothers, against our Caribbean brothers. There's no influx of African immigrants or Caribbean immigrants trying to take nobody's jobs. There's no influx of African and Caribbean immigrants supporting the GOP's platform and all this nonsense they be throwing, this MAGA nonsense they be trying to tell us. I can tell the difference between white supremacist, right-wing propaganda and someone who's just being honest. And there's too much right-wing propaganda.
Okay, well, brother, I appreciate you coming in and
thank you.
Honest, perception on this man, and consider us a friend. Hopefully this won't be the last time we talk.
Trump is not. I don't think he's necessarily as crazy as the Democrats tell us that he is, or as racist. I don't think he likes black people, though. I don't think that he is a person that really gets most black people. He's an old white man. That's what he is, basically, an old white man. Now, the thing is, though, we got old white men in the Democratic Party who are racist, too. They just don't call them racist because they're down with the Democratic ideology, right? You're not. This is what I'm going to do. And what's funny is I think he's crass. I think he's a little sloppy. I think he's not presidential. But, shit, it ain't like you ain't never asked a question about this illegal immigrant stuff. I'm going to tell you the truth. I never understood illegal immigration. I was like, they're breaking the law. Like,
you told my cousin then when he broke the law that he's supposed to go to jail. So how these motherfuckers are allowed to just break the law and y'all act like they didn't break the law? Well, shit, if that's what you're doing, then give everybody. I got a long list of black people in prison right now for breaking the law. Families divided, children yanked out of their parents' hands, all this stuff that y'all think is so atrocious. If you're letting everybody break the law, then goddamn wealth gap. There's always this wealth gap, the wealth gap, the wealth gap, the wealth gap. Everybody talks about this damn wealth gap, and the shit gets on my nerves. It doesn't mean it's not true. It doesn't mean the wealth gap's not real. It doesn't mean white folks don't have more money than you. They certainly do. But, you know, one of the things that I think we got to learn how to do is we have to learn how to listen to experts on this issue instead of listening to emotions. You know, experts like me will show you that this wealth gap, this so-called wealth gap, number one, is not going away. It's been around for 30, 40, 50 years. It only keeps getting wider. But the reason it exists is because millions of black people won't change our behavior. An insurmountable obstacle. Any black family in America can overcome the wealth gap in one generation by doing something very, very basic. If you just take the amount of money that you're going to spend at fast food restaurants and you learn how to invest offense, because actually one of the things that they have found in this wealth gap is when they dig deep into the data, they actually find that people who know how to invest are not victimized by the wealth gap. That literally just that basic idea of investing small amounts of money in the stock market over a long period of time, that solves the equation. That fixes everything pretty much. 87% of what they declare as income every year is coming from what they own and control. They don't work for it. They always tell black folks go get a job. When 87% of white people can get wealth without working a job. And so if they stop right now, it would take black folk 239 years to be where white folk are now. That's even if white folks stood still. And I'm going to tell you why black was holding black up and acquiring wealth, and why they're going down and not having it. And if you want to run through them things, I'll tell you, here's what I tell your students. Every one of them right now, pick up a pad, a pencil, and I'm going to run through some things, and you write these things down. These are the key things. These are the major devices that white folk use to make sure you never get into wealth. A little bit you got, they're going to strip it from you. You're going to go down. And let me know when you're ready, and I'll sort of run them all to you. Tell them to write them down and go and become an activist and hit every civil rights leader, every politician, and say, go deal with these issues that Dr. Epps just gave us. Otherwise, we're locked out. We're going to bottom out. We're never going to acquire any power or wealth in this nation. Black people tend to not have inheritances to pass down to their children. And a lot of this is because much of the wealth in America is inherited wealth. Most of the white folks that run around here, they have $100,000 before they go to college or have, can buy a home very easily or have assets that allow them to make investments that we can't make and to do things we can't do. Much of that wealth is inherited wealth. It's passed from parent to child. I mean, imagine someone who makes, $500,000 a year for a lot of years, and they accumulate millions of dollars in wealth. Well, when they die, they can't take it with them. They give it to their kids. Right. Well, black people could never do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, when you are a slave in the United States, you typically are not paid, or at least historically in the system in which we've lived. And so for hundreds of years, black people worked as hard or harder than anybody else in the country. We were not given the option or opportunity to take other work or to do other things. We were forced to work on plantations for absolutely nothing. During that period of time, the world was moving forward. There were scientific advances being made. There were businesses, major corporations being built. There were fortunes being accumulated. Many of these fortunes built on the backs of African Americans. As a result, 100 years later, those fortunes, those advancements, all those things have been passed down from one white person to the next, and black people didn't have much to give their children at all. So that's the first reason that the wealth disparity exists. It doesn't exist just because black people want to buy gold chains and rims and all these other stereotypes that you tend to see.
Folks have said to you, Dr. Boyce, why don't you guys deal with this and do that? And why don't you talk to her? Isn't it true that you've tried to call and text? You've tried to call and text, right? Okay, I thought that's what you said.
Oh yeah. That was the point I was going to make. Is that just to really prove that I am a man of my word on the issue. I texted Yvette several times and said, "Come on the channel, let's debate it out, let's talk it out." Let's figure it out. I text her and I called her and I said, I don't want to fight with you. Like, why are you fighting with me? I get receipts of that tens of thousands of dollars I put behind what you're doing. I helped you build Breaking Brown. I didn't build it by myself. You're a brilliant woman, but I helped. You can't say I didn't help. We got receipts on that. So let's stop acting like this black man didn't try to support what you're doing, but there's something there. There's something there in terms of some maybe a psychological issue, the competitiveness. Like I can only become better if I attack other people. And I think that's, I don't know if it's an insecurity. I don't know if that's a mental health challenge. I don't know what it is. But I would just say, I was sitting there saying, like, well, we can fight the world together.
Oh, he said, well, Yvette, come on, let's make nice. I knew this was a scam. I knew I didn't want to take the bait on that hook because I know boys better than most of y'all know boys who say, Yvette, go talk to boys. So I knew what he was up to. So then when I didn't let him back in, he said, oh, I'm the better leader. I'm going to take over. I'm going to position myself as the grown-up in the room that's bringing everybody together. So I will be the wise elder. But I know you too well, boys. I know what this is. And I know what this looks like. You're just going to use it up and rinse, repeat, and find the next thing to hop on to. Don't nobody, if you were really into crypto, you'd still be talking about crypto. You'd still be talking about Bitcoin. You'd still be trying to lead people. How many of your people will follow your advice and you just stop talking about it? Is that who y'all want to follow?
Some of you have been following Bitcoin pretty closely. You know that I've been a real Bitcoin student lately, particularly since I've seen sort of what the blockchain is going to do in terms of the future of investing, what the blockchain could do for the black community, what it can do for really anybody who has an investor's mindset. One of the things I want to tell you guys is that as you look into the holidays and you look into what you're going to do with your money, I would encourage you to strongly consider, digging in and not really thinking so much in terms of holiday spending, but think about the holidays in terms of holiday investing. Holiday investing is always better than holiday spending. You don't have to give all your money away. You can actually keep it and grow your money. Now, some of you are in the crypto investing group. If you haven't joined the group, you should join us at theblackcryptoinvestinggroup.com. That's theblackcryptoinvestinggroup.com. We have almost 10,000 people that are very lively, very interested in crypto, interested in investing, interested in something better, for the future. And really, given that I have a PhD in finance, this is probably the best time ever to have a PhD in finance. I mean, it's exciting to me because when you have a doctorate in something, and you're an expert, I mean, you have a level of expertise that I can't really describe in the sense that it's almost like torture. It's like if you've been through the worst torture chamber imaginable. It's like being an athlete when you've been trained literally to the point where you almost died, and now you're like super strong and able to do a lot of stuff. So with Bitcoin, what's exciting to me is that I have an ability to kind of make sure you're on the cutting edge, make sure black folks kind of get to take the lead on this and really understand things that other people don't understand. So the other thing too about understanding is that I understand things that I don't understand, meaning I understand what I don't know. I don't know what I don't know, but I can say that crypto moves across borders pretty easily. I just suggest anybody get involved if you're interested in taking a look at it. I think it's a great investment vehicle that a lot of people have overlooked. A lot of people don't really realize just the power of what crypto has kind of done.
So crypto's kind of doing the crip walk right now. I'm talking about the crippled walk because crypto has been kind of getting its butt kicked in the market. So I think this is a good time to talk about it because now I've got people's attention. There were the people who didn't want to hear anything that we had to say back when they were making money like O.J. Simpson and the money was just flowing and the liquor was good and everything was just hunky-dory. Now you got some people kind of saying, whoa, wait a minute, wait, hold on. I thought that Bitcoin was going to be, my personal ATM machine. I thought Bitcoin was going to be my pathway to retire by the age of 28. I thought Bitcoin was going to help me buy my mama and my cousin them and everybody else I know a house. Because I was going to make millions from it, and now you're finding that that's not quite.
Is we actually sell the why. Like when I explain what I do, I tell people I basically sell hope and dreams, and I fulfill it. Sometimes I fulfill it with SaaS, Sometimes I fulfill it with a physical product. Sometimes I fulfill it with an info product. But ultimately, I'm selling hope and dreams of some sort of desired end result. I don't know if that makes any sense. Absolutely. So that's kind of how I look at it. So like if you look at it, you got me thinking. So let me pull this up real quick on my end. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see how to do this. Yeah, I'm going to share this right here. And this was kind of exciting for me, as a copywriter, side of things. You see my screen okay? You see like a presentation or whatever? Yeah, I see it. If you look at how we do it, in this case, we're selling like a children's education product, I'm not saying I believe it's a good product we put together. I'm not saying it's a bad product, but in the grand scheme of children's education products and stuff like that, there's thousands of them out there, right? It's like if you're selling like webinar software, if you're selling some sort of stat tool or whatnot, the reality is we're not that special snowflakes, it's all the same thing. But what we do is, if you can imagine, I hit it initially, I literally, what I'm selling, I don't view myself as selling, the problem is not to say buy my product. I'm trying to sell a movement or a change. So in this case, this offer that we have, we're focused on the African American niche. And we're basically selling, we basically sell it as religion, right? So we're packaging it as Black economic power needs to become the second religion. We're gonna sell you on how to properly educate your children, create your own jobs. Literally, this is what we sell. Correct. That's how we position it. And what's interesting, and this was actually great because we were on the webinar, and Boyce, who's he's the main character. He's like the pitch guy. He's my info product guy. So, actually look at it. We had we literally go completely off tangent, which is good. But it's let me just read this copy to you. I'd be curious to get your opinion. So we're basically selling. Let me take that back. We are selling hope. We are fulfilling it through.
Disappointed when I saw the video. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like a gut punch. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like they're trying to take advantage of all those thousands of followers, man. They really, he pretty much spoke about how he studies Black people in barbershops and how awkward it was because he was so uncomfortable and that he couldn't relate to anybody. That's what he said, you know what I'm saying? And that Boyce Watkins was given dramatic acting jobs to get people to react and buy his products that really ain't worth shit. And that's what he said.
Why would you even listen to me? Why are you here? I don't want you here. I want you to go. You have no place here. Why would you listen to a lying-ass nigga who's just on the internet talking shit? If that's who I am and that's what you think I am, then fuck you, go away, and be somewhere.
Troublesome nigga.